Hey guys, welcome back to LetCode once again. So we have learned like 6 videos so far, right? So we are going to learn. Uh, we are going to. This is the seventh video, where we are going to learn how to read data from the user configuration. So for example, in our autonomy report, we have this configuration, right? So const report config, and which is by autonomy report config, and then we can pass like whether we want to take the snapshot in the base64. If you want to add a project logo, you want to change the title of your project, show project file name. So we have this details, right? I think no other report supports like the logo or like base64 image, right? So that's really cool feature about the autonomy report. So we are going to see how to get the data from the user and showcase in your report, right? So it's going to be very simple. If you know any programming language, you know that if you want to pass a data to your class file, you have to make use of the constructor. Of course, you can use like methods and all this, but constructor comes first, right? So that is what we are going to do. So let's go and do it right now. So if you go to your autonomy report, so first of all, we are going to have a constructor in our class, right? So how to create constructor in JavaScript or TypeScript is very simple. Just you have to call the constructor. I mean, yeah, you have to call the constructor function. Now, um, let's create a private variable. So private, then followed by, let's name it like config, and it's going to be an empty object. Okay, and then followed by, we are going to say like this dot config equal to, yeah. So we're going to get it from the this guy, right? So we'll just say like config. It's typical how we do the configuration. So since already I have this private here, I don't need it here. So once we can say like private, that's the another feature of TypeScript. So I can just simply say like private config over here, and that should add a cluster of things. Okay, this is going to be actually an empty object. So let's make it like object as it is. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to um, give user suggestion. So we can use the type definitions, type declarations basically, but okay, let's do that. Okay, so within the types here, we have this is related to your test result. So let's leave it as it is. Let me create one more thing, and this is going to be my report config, right? So I can name it like autonomy report, then followed by config, and of course it's going to be your ts file. Okay, and then same thing, mostly like you have to say just export, and then followed by, it's going to be of interface, and let's name it like autonomy report config. And what are the things we can pass? So of course we can pass a lot of things. Now just for the sake of demo, I will use like preferred theme. So Bulma supports two themes, one is the light and another one is the dark. So we'll just go with like light, or it can be dark. Okay, and the first one will be the default, so it is light. So if I go and open the result.html, HTML file, you can say like it's basically your dark theme. That is because I use this, my system theme is dark, but of course you can go and change it here. You can see this is how it's going to look in the light theme as well. So we can do the configuration. So for that we have to write some JavaScript, but I will try to make it very simpler for you. Okay, now let's go back. Let's say that we also want to change the title of the page. So now it says like autonomy playwright report, but if you are using for your project, you might have to change this, right? So if you see here, we have this title configuration. So I'm just going to copy it and paste over here, and it's going to be of type string. And what else we want to do? We want to, let's say that we want to give the file name as well, right? So we want to change the file name. Of course we can give, and we'll just simply copy everything. So author name, my preferred time, all this thing. Okay, and preferred theme is already there, so let's delete it. And this is going to be string type. So here we have to say the type, not the actual test data. Okay, that's it. We are pretty much done, right? Now this user might pass this and might not pass this, right? So we have to make it optional. So what we are going to do, we are going to add the question mark, right, operator. But before that, instead of this, right, we can say like this is going to be of my type autony report config. So it will add the import statement and this one, right? So whenever I say, like, for example, I want to pass the test result data, along with that I also want to pass my configuration, right? So here I will say like this, let's name it like um, theme, and I can say like this dot config dot. You can see we are getting all the suggestions over here, right? So that's the beauty of TypeScript. Yeah. So yeah, and then followed by I want to pass my author name. So let's name it like author name colon this dot config dot author name. Similarly, what are the, yeah, I want to pass my file name, and then followed by I want to pass my project name, and I want to pass my test type. Anything else we are missing? Yeah, this title. Okay. Now we can just simply add like colon colon colon, yeah, colon, then followed by this dot config dot something. Okay, that should be easy actually. And this should be file name, this should be project name, and this should be test type, and this should be title. Okay, so we got this. Now whatever the data we are going to set over here, we are going to get it from here. So this is basically like your we'll get it from the constructor, and we are just passing it to this object name, and this object name we have to use in our HTML file. For example, if you go to now your HBS file, so what are this, we got this, right? So we have to add another section, and we want to show this thing, right? So let's just copy this guy and paste over here, and we just need only one card. So I'll just delete all the other cards, we don't need this. And just make sure you're closing the brackets correctly, or else it will be messed up. Okay, right click and format. Got this now. Okay, so we got this another uh things also. Okay, now let's name this like suit information. That is what we have in our auto report also. So you can see in the dash we have this root, and left hand side is all the information, and right hand side is the chat. We'll see that maybe later on videos. For now, so we'll just focus on this. Okay, so here what we are going to do, we are going to add multiple span. Okay, and then okay, so we are going to pass the author name first, and then followed by the project name, and followed by the test type, and title it will go in your header, right? So there, and theme also it should go in the header, and file name should be your file name, right? So I think 3 is much enough. Okay, so we have this many details. Now let's see whether we are able to successfully create this thing or not, right? Now let's go to your npm run test. So if you run this now, it will run, but what will happen in the sense like it will not generate this detail, because you have to set it. We are receiving the data from the constructor, and we are trying to pass it, but we don't know whether the user has passed it or not, right? So we have to pass it to by the user, right? So how we'll do that? But if user failed to pass it, let's see what happens. So let's go back and open this result.html. Now you can see that we got this test suite, we got the card, we got the number things, but all these are empty now, because we don't have the value over there, right? So since the value is not there, it didn't type anything. Okay, so how to generate the value is very simple. We have to get it from the user. How? One way is, of course, in the code wise we are getting it using the constructor, but we want to fetch from the user, right? So this is the place where we are saying like, hey, this is the thing, right? So what we have to do is we have to get it now. So what I'll do, I'll just simply say like I will add an object here, and this all this suggestions are from playwright, so we have to pass it like this. Let me copy just quickly. Yeah, I'll just copy this. Author name, preferred project name, test time, file name. Anyway, file name we are not using, and also the title we are not using now, but I will not bust, I mean sorry, I'll just add it for now, right? Let's go back and run the test again. Let's see. Okay, so we got a report. Now let's go and refresh this. So you can see like now LetCode Kaushik, that is what we passed as the author name, and then we have the Autonomy report demo, that is your project name, and then we have the test type, which is this one, right? Now of course we are able to get the values. Now what we have to do, we have to pass it, like we have to hard code the static data. For example, here we'll say like uh, author, not like this, so we have to make it like author name colon and then followed by project. Okay, it should have space. This is not your variable name, this is your showcasing things, right? So yeah, that's it. We are pretty much good. Okay, so now next time when we run, we'll get this author name and then followed by all the details. Okay, now I want to change the title, right? So the default title is Autonomy Playwright Report, and if user passes the title, then we have to modify it. How to do it? So one way is we can just uh, use this, copy this. So this is my default title, right? So I can say like if the title, if the user passes that title, let's use it, or else I can just simply say like double pipe, that is like your operator, and we can just pass it. So if the title has value, it will take it from here, or else whatever the default we are going to give, it will take it from there. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just simply wrap this and we'll add our two curly braces. So whatever the data you want to pass, just make sure it is going to be within your two curly braces. Okay, it will change in like three braces, some formula also we can write. We'll learn all this in detail. Okay, now another thing is the file name, right? So how to change the file name? So here is the file name we are generating, right? So what we can do, we can just simply say like this dot config dot file name, then followed by, of course we have to give the format that is dot html. Now sometimes user might also pass dot html as a file extension, so we have to handle that. So we have to implement the try catch, we have to implement the static file checks. We'll do that maybe in properly maybe later on videos, but for now just to give you an idea how to take the data from user and how to build it, that's what I'm trying to do now. Okay. Okay, so we are pretty good. Now let's go and refresh this guy. Load. Yeah, so you can see like author name, LetCode with Kaushik, project name, we got this one, and the file name is result.html still, because that is what we have given in the config, right? So let's name it like autonomy dash report. Okay, and then followed by, you can see playwright sample project now. So previously it was autonomy playwright report, the file title. Now it says playwright sample report, because that is what we have passed over here, right? The last thing is preferred theme. So how do we change the preferred theme, right? So if you go to the Bulma documentation, yeah, this one, data theme name, this is the what we have to use, I guess. Let me quickly check in my report already. Since I have used the SAS file, I think I should have different config, but mostly I think that's same only. Yeah, this one, data theme. Okay, so you have to set it in the HTML like data theme and then followed by the preferred theme. That's it. It's very simple actually. So let's copy and paste over here. So after the HTML tag, you have to give, and this should be spelling correct. So let's go check. Yeah. Okay. Now let's go and run this time one last time. Okay, Awesome, we got it, I guess. Let's go and refresh this page. Yeah, getting refreshed. So what we have as preferred theme as slide, but it didn't work. Why it didn't work? Let me check. I think I have done some spelling mistake probably. And if you go to the attorney here also, do we have preferred theme? See here we have like theme. So this is the variable name. I have to use this. So preferred theme is like this thing is coming from your this thing, right? So here we are passing, which will be get by the constructor, but we are setting this to the name theme, and this data we are passing to the compiler, the HBS compiler, the template compiler, right? So this should be like your theme. So copy and paste over here. Okay, now we are pretty good. Okay, let me check the configuration one. So we have light theme, so you can see we have dark theme. Now we are passing light theme, and the file name should be like autony dash report. Okay, so we're expecting all these things. Let's see. Oh, one more thing, I have done a mistake. Like here it generated in the name of autony report, but we are checking the result.html. So that's the thing. But anyways, the theme will not work in this, that also. Okay, so we got the file as autony dash report. So here we got it. Let's open this, and you can see we got the beautiful light theme. And of course we can make it very neat and tidy. So we have all test of 26. We have passed one, we have failed one, we have skipped one. Okay, so we are almost able to create kind of dashboard, not exactly the dashboard, yes, but kind of dashboard. So assume that here we have one other card where we just attach the chart. That's it, right? So we have got the uh, almost. Now once I click on this, guys, so this guy will give us the relevant test will have the relevant specs, and then once we click on the specs, that should open in a side. All the things we can do it, of course we will do it. Okay, so I hope you are getting pretty much idea how to build your own report. So I think we quickly learned a lot of things today. So I will see you in the next video. If you have any queries, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'll be happy to reply. And also, if you like the video, kindly do like it and add your comments so that I will know whether you are enjoying it or not. Mostly, I don't add animations like this video or to subscribe something. Sometimes I don't even ask you to subscribe just to save your time. But if you think this is deservable, lovable, do it. Tada, bye bye. Take care.